is a heartfelt and forward-thinking proposal to the Federal Ministry of Education. You know, I've been thinking lately, what if leadership was not just a word we used when it was time for election? What if leadership becomes something we thought, nurtured, and modeled from childhood? What if every Nigerian child, from primary school to university, had access to something I would call leadership labs? Let me explain what I mean. In my mind, I picture the curriculum embedded right into our schools, not just as another subject to pass, but as a life lab, a training ground to groom character, courage, conviction, and capacity. Because truth be told, a nation rises only as high as the quality of its leaders, and right now we are in short supply of it. We do have some remarkable leaders in Nigeria, but let's not deceive ourselves. The pool of capable, audacious, and forward-thinking leaders is not nearly enough for the demands of our time. Even more sobering is the fact that many people who are loud about leadership in Nigeria cannot lead themselves. They've never been taught discipline, problem-solving, negotiation, emotional intelligence, or even how to hold opposition views respectfully. And the truth is, they didn't just pick that up from thin air. Our system failed to teach them. We failed to plant the seed early enough. So here is my suggestion to the federal government and the Ministry of Education and all stakeholders who shape the minds of our children. Let us introduce what I call leadership labs into our national education curriculum, from primary to tertiary institution, not just as a theory, but as a practical learning and life experience. Let me paint a picture of how it could look. From the primary school level, which is the seed of self-leadership, the focus should be on self-awareness, values, responsibility, storytelling sections about famous Nigerian leaders, not just politicians, role-playing, if I were a class governor, chores and accountability boards, teaching them to own mistakes, say I am sorry, and clean up after themselves, because leadership starts from within. So now let's move to the secondary school level, which is the building team and community leadership. The focus should be on critical thinking, problem solving, empathy, teamwork, debate clubs on real civic issues, leadership stimulations, group tasks with rotating leaders, community service projects led and managed by students, conflict resolution exercises, how to disagree without being disrespectful, because this is how we build social intelligence in our young people. So now let's move to the tertiary institution level, which is nation building and policy engagement. The focus should be on nationhood, governance, innovation, activism and ethics, mock parliament and student-led policy think tank, courses on public finance, constitutional rights and civic duty, mentorship programs with real leaders in business, government and civil society. We can also introduce case studies of what failed in Nigeria, what worked in other countries, and how we can implement them in our own land. And finally, volunteer service hours as a graduation requirement. We are not just teaching them to shout change. We are teaching them how to become it. So what is the bigger picture if we begin this now? In 10, 15 or 20 years, we will start to see a new kind of Nigerian rising. One who doesn't wait to be president before they start serving. One who sees waste, theft and inefficiency not as a normal but as betrayal to their country. One who knows how to run a budget, lead a team and bring people together even when there is no applause. Because leadership is not a title, it is a mindset. And that mindset must be trained early, consistently and practically. So yes, I believe it is time. Let us move beyond just giving our children mathematics, English, and biology. Let us start giving them the tools to lead themselves and others, think critically, to stand boldly, and to carry the future of this country with strength, with skill, and with sense. Because the truth is, Nigeria needs more leaders, and we have to start building them.